So if I'm nervous today, I will blame all the nervousness to the Indian men. Because I'm talking about flirting, and all the Indian men are so nervous every time they are on a table with me. So if I'm nervous, so you know where to blame, right? We don't have much education in terms of men flirting with disability or men flirting in general, I think so. I was browsing this amazing, handsome guy. I swiped right. I was like, wow, he could drink a mug of beer in 0.29 seconds. Okay, and I was like, oh, I should definitely experience a guy who can gulp beer in like 0.29 seconds. And I was like, wow, and he was handsome, traveled around the world. I'm like, yeah, definitely. I am going to swipe this guy right. And the guy also swiped right. Whew, years ago, like super duper match, right? And we go on the first date, wonderful, lovely night. We talk about each other's, likes and dislikes, and we definitely snap well with each other. And I was like, wow, this is happening, right? And we meet again and again. It gets more closer, and one day he calls me home. He's like, why don't you come home? Right? I would want to take you home. And I'm like, really? Is this happening through Tinder, right? and yeah, and I go home, and we're in this lovely house, of his, where he had this beautiful garden and stairs, and his mom was also around, which made it a little more cliche. But yeah, I said hello. That's it. We didn't talk much to the aunt, right? We kept going, and we spent the entire night in the terrace, and it was lovely, and we snapped really well. Is it happening? This wasn't a story of mine. This was a story of a very close friend of mine who shared her Tinder experience on how dating happens. This never happened to me. Never, right? So let me rewind. Let me tell you why. Who is this lady here, right? Who am I, right? Really, I have shackled the stereotypes, the myths, and the social norms of a woman, especially an Indian woman, with a severe disability. Today, I'm here not to talk about my success professionally. I have a 10 years of successful career. Or I'm not going to talk about how I made it, how challenging was my life, and how I could break through and be here to talk to you all here, right? But I'm going to be talking about love, disability, intimacy, men, Indian men, we'll get there soon, and relationship, right? And for the past 2 to 3 days, I have had a lot of internal conversations within me of this topic, right? That is very, very close to me. Let me tell you, I was a dropout kid. I was a dropout of school. Even before the biology teacher taught you about the reproductive organs, which I didn't attend for that matter, I was hooked to TV, I was hooked to video games, I was hooked to Michael Jackson, right? And I knew love was in the air. And I have dreamt about love from the age of, say, 10, 8, my earlier childhoods, because I was exposed to TV, I was exposed to many things. But the fact is, right, since I was a girl who didn't experience the world like any other girl would do, I was put away from this community of, people or experiences. And I stayed for a very long time under four walls, like close to be very frank, I was closed doors for 15 years. So how would I get all the experiences of, like meeting men at school or men at college or men at, I have no experience there, right? My earlier crush that I had, who was my neighbor, right? Very cool kid, right? And now I'm calling him kid, sorry, back then, we were of same age. Um, I had so much of crush in him. I experienced the butterflies that every woman experiences. I wanted to, meet with him every day. I wish I could see him every day. He did, and he waved at me every day as well, right? And the crush grew and grew and grew, and we started talking. But one thing that I saw is he wasn't seeing me the way I was seeing him. He wasn't in the slightest crush whatsoever. But I wasn't totally awestruck for that boy, and I was young. And when I said him that I really love you at that age, see, I still, could get access to all this. When I told him that, he said, I thought you never knew about love. I thought you never knew about many things that is associated with love. I'm like, why? Why would you say that? He said, you're dropped out of school and you're at home, and I thought you wouldn't associate me like that. I said, I really love you. I have that feelings for you. But soon, it shaded away. And he put me backbench in terms of me wanting to approach a guy, right? Pretty soon, I was closed doors thinking, I cannot approach a man because I do not have that experience. I was still trying to identify myself to many people. So I completely, off track myself. And I proved this world, I can do this. I can go, I can work, I can find a job for myself. I broke all the barriers that was around me, right? And then for the past 10 years, I'm out here. Socially, I go, I hang out in all the places. I've traveled many countries. I've seen men who behave very differently when it comes to comparing our Indian men, right? And you all must be wondering, is Deepa going to troll on Indian men today? Absolutely yes. I am. We are going to definitely get Indian men hurt. I totally agree that overnight, we cannot change the Indian man's stance of finding the fair, slim, can cook, can clean, ideal wife scenarios to dating a difference. But when I was out here, when I started experiencing the world, I was thinking, what is so different in our society that we can never break away from patterns? We can never break away from stereotypes. It doesn't matter how much you are out there, still you are biased and stereotyped. Disability today is a biggest disqualifier for having a romantic partner or for having a life partner, for that matter, right? My mom, of course, is very protective, right? She's protected me, guarded me, so well that she didn't want men to say no to me. So she's protected me. Sometimes overprotection also gets into you, right? So she's protecting me so much. And I'm like, how are moms or how are men outside countries, right? When I see a lot of my friends in the US or the other countries, I have seen them leading very normal life. Women with the same severe condition as mine have families, have boyfriends, have children, have been there, have done it. And when we look at a global scenario, 50, 1 out of 50 men, right? Just one man out of 50 would go ahead and date a woman with disability. This is a global figure. My chances would have been even more better if I was in another country. My chances of getting hitched would have been amazing if I was among the black, white men country. Like, is Indian men scared to date me? Is Indian men scared or patronized or terrified about this young, empowered, strong, powerful women? Maybe with me, a slight differentiator of disability. Are Indian men scared of women who are empowered, who are powerful, and who are out there? Are Indian men scared to date us? I have to ask this question back again and again. So today, I'm going to educate Indian men of dating and women with disability. First of all, you get a different flavor, different perspective, different idea, and you break the pattern when you experience something different. And we all agree with that. Different experiences is what we look for, right? So, groundbreaking, like ground rule number 1, it's about love. And when we are there on the table, it's about knowing you, knowing me, time. And let's not assume things. Let's not take away the gun ahead to make conclusions right away. It's about conversation. It's about how do you take one step at a time, right? And we will know better each other when we start the conversation one step, slowly understanding each other. So it is about know you, know me time. Rule number 2 is you don't want to like, talk about things like intimacy right on the first date. On a larger scenario, people with disability or physical disability can have amazing intimacy experiences. And definitely, it's not going to be like a blocker in the relationship. It's about probably knowing what works best for both. So you don't have to talk about it at the day one. It's fine. And you have to understand if someone is dating and wanting to be dated, I think the biggest motion or success of a dating definitely is the physical intimacy. So I think it is given, right? You don't have to have like a questionnaire of it. Rule number 2, of course, I love surprises, gifts. Oh, and we all love it, right? Yeah, we all love that, yes. So that's rule number 3. I think Indian men needs to know surprises and gifts are the must. Yeah. And rule number 4, it's about me and not about my wheelchair. I understand when I enter a room, it's mostly about the wheelchair. Don't patronize. Do not patronize about about me, my achievements. I don't need the smothering around me. I don't need how confident I am, how intelligent I am, how progressive I am. I do not smother that. And smothering or patronizing me isn't a very um, uh, cheerful thing in on a dating, right? I think it is about um, empowering, or it is about conversation which is more lively, right? That's rule number one. And the last rule, the fifth rule, of course, when you see all these rules, I think it definitely matches any woman who wants to date. Do you guys want to be smothered saying how beautiful and how lovely always you are? Or do you want to have a lovely conversation saying, okay, let's, explore this, let's go around, we want to have those kind of conversations. So the only thing that I would, which differentiate, or a slight differentiator would be, do not overdo my wheelchair. I know I have attracted more kids below 5 years and more men below about 35 years only to my wheels and my joystick, right? Please, it's about me and not about my wheelchair always, right? And these are some of the groundbreaking rules that you should go ahead and get someone hooked to. And I know I've been, like trolling on Indian men, but down the line, sometimes it is about you. It is about oneself on how you want to love yourself. I think that goes a long, long way, right? And today I am here to break away the pattern because I think I have embraced myself well. I think I can, you know, get to the next stage. I would definitely want a man who can take care of me, love me, be with me. And I hope I can grow old with him as well, right? This is what I look forward to. But at the same time, I'm not breaking away from myself because it's about loving oneself. It is about loving, the life. It's about flirting with life. So, you know, uh, the ground rule again for everyone here is it's about exploring different aspects of life. You get different perspective, you get a lot of things into your life as it enriches you. So I think today I am here on a great idea to flirt this evening. So I hope you all are around to get some extra drinks and we get going. Thank you.